Hey there. So, I want to share a little bit more personally today about some of the core experiences that have really shaped me as a coach and as an intuitive. And I think I also want to share this with the intention of any of you out there who are cultivating your intuition or have had some pretty weird psychic experiences and you're kind of like both excited but afraid to grow your intuition, maybe some of these stories will resonate with you. And so that's a little bit about why I want to share some of this more personal stuff today. And just to acknowledge it's vulnerable to do this. A lot of times when I shoot these videos, I'm like, why are you doing this? But I feel the impulse, so I'm going to follow it. So let's just start at the beginning. As a little kid, as a pretty sensitive little munchkin, I had a really big imagination and I just felt a lot. I didn't have too many kind of paranormal psychic experiences when I was super young, but I do recall when I was maybe about 12 years old, starting to go through puberty. I started to have a bunch of interesting experiences happen. I started to have dreams, and then the next day, the dream would play out in front of me. I'd have dreams about certain places that I had never been, and then maybe a week later or a month later, I'd actually go to the place and know exactly where certain rooms are, where in this house or in this hotel. And I kind of thought this was part of puberty. I thought that other kids were getting armpit hair and leg hair and also having kind of some paranormal experiences. And I also kind of imagined I could talk to my cat, and I felt like I really could hear and sense messages from my cat. I felt like I could talk to the wind. I had a wild and big imagination, but there was like this way that I felt like this world is so much more mysterious and magical than we even know. And something in me was opening to those ideas. So when I talked to my friends about this and thought they'd probably be going through the same thing too, they laughed at me. They thought I was just a big weirdo. And I think that kind of served at that time to shut me down a little bit. Later in high school, I had another series of mysterious events happen. I started having something come visit me at night. And honestly, I kind of asked for it. I was really just like calling in the paranormal. I was like, yeah, bring it, life. I kind of want to experience all the magic and mystery out there. And I started to have something visit me at night, and I could just sense it in my bedroom. I didn't see anything with my eyes, but there would be this sense of something in my bedroom late at night, and I would be terrified. During that period of time in high school, I started to get really sick, really, really ill, and nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. I had these really crazy high fevers, and it lasted for about 3 months. And finally, one day in my high school, I was in my philosophy class, and my philosophy teacher asked me to stay after class, and he just asked me, "What's going on with you?" And I said, "Do you really want to know?" And he said, "Yes, I do." And I said, "There's something visiting me at night, and it's making me really sick, and I can't see it, and I don't know what it is, but it's really scaring me, and I think I called it in." And he just looked me right in the eyes, and he said, "You have the power. Take your power back. Tell this thing to F off, to never come back, and you have guides. You have an energetic support team, and they can only truly support you if you welcome them in." And he said, "Call them in." And he said it with so much confidence and clarity that I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just what I have to do. What a blessing. Later that night, I did just that, and I started getting well after that date and never had visitations again. Just to again note, this is just vulnerable to share these things, but it's just true. And that philosophy teacher was a game changer for me. Years later, I also learned that Robin Williams also had a really deep relationship with this one teacher. We went to the same high school. So that was pretty special to learn. This teacher has had an impact for years, for generations, on many, many students, and he certainly guided me that particular day. Later on, post high school, off in college, I went and again, I had this kind of wave, this acceleration of psychic, intuitive experiences. But to be honest, this part of me, though I believed my experiences, also kind of felt like, is this stuff real? Is this actually happening? And I never really quite knew. But I started giving spontaneous healings to friends, and I would, imagine I could talk to energies, and sometimes there'd be energies or beings there, and I would talk to them. But in the back of my mind, I never really knew, is this stuff, am I just kind of making this stuff up? But it felt fun to play with, and people seemed to enjoy when I gave them sessions. But I never fully believed it. And it wasn't until I think my junior year of college, I had a friend of mine in college pass away in a car accident. And one night, I'm laying in bed, it's maybe like 10 p.m., put my little earplugs in, my roommate's in the next room, and I just kind of am laying there, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to find Adam. I'm just gonna see if, like, we can communicate with anything at any time. I'm gonna see if I can just find him. And so in my mind, not out loud, but in my mind, I started just calling him. Adam, where are you? I want to talk to you. I want to find you. I want to find you in that other world. I want to communicate with you. And didn't hear anything. I had my eyes closed, so I was kind of imagining I was looking through my third eye. Didn't see anything. I kept trying. Adam, where are you? Where are you? And then in my mind's eye, with my eyes closed, I started to see this like swirling thing. This just swirling thing. But again, I'm like, maybe I'm just making this up. And then all of a sudden, it stopped, and there was like this feeling of it turned up its head. It lifted up its head. And when it did, I gasped out loud. I was just like, oh my gosh, it was a dragon. It was the face of a dragon. And what was so wild about this was that I wasn't generating this image. My mind wasn't saying, oh, generate an image of a dragon. It just was a dragon. And why I laughed out loud was that I always called Adam the dragon. So I was like, oh my gosh, can this be real? Is this real? So I, again, said, Adam, that's not enough. If this is real, if I'm really communicating with you, say my name. Say my name. And at the time, my name was Courtney. I've now legally changed my name to Juna, but at the time it was Courtney. So I'm laying there, and again, in my mind, I'm just saying, Adam, if it's you, say my name. I want to know this is real. I don't hear anything. The dragon's gone. Just laying there, turn over in bed, kind of just like roll up to go to sleep. And all of a sudden, I hear in his voice, and as I hear it, Courtney! And it blew me away. I jumped out of bed, threw off my earplugs, ran into my roommate's room, and I'm like, Adam just called my name. And that was one of those moments for me that, as an intuitive person, I think we need proof. and even though I had had years of paranormal experiences, that was the first time I was like, oh man, this stuff is real. This is legit. Like, this is legitimately happening. And to this day, even still, like, that story just had such a big impact on me because I actually heard his voice. It was his voice. My mind didn't even remember what his voice sounded like, but it was his voice, and he called my name, and I heard it through my ears. It wasn't just kind of an internal hearing. It was an external hearing, and I had earplugs on. That was pretty talented of Adam. That was pretty amazing, and it was a game changer for me. I was like, wow, there's a gift here that I have that life's inviting me to use, and I'm scared of it. I'm scared of it. What I didn't share about in my story is just that I had had a lot of experiences over the years that did scare me, and that felt like I don't know how to use this gift, how to feel in control with a gift like this. So there was a way that I felt like I turned it off quite a bit. My senior year of college, I kind of went through that phase. I was just like, you know what, this is a lot. I want to kind of turn down the dial on this. I just want to be a normal college student, drink some 40s, have some fun, not have all these psychic gifts. And I really just like put a prayer out to the universe, to my guides. Hey, just give me one more year of just being a normal college student. And then I promise I'm going to open up to this, to dive into this. Post-college, I kind of was just slacking a little bit. And there was like this heaviness, this depression in me. And when I asked the depression, what is it you're wanting to tell me? It just had this feeling of like, it's time, Juna, it's time. So post-college, moved back to the Bay Area, and within a week I found an intuitive school, and I spent 6 years there developing my gifts. It was a big blow to my ego attending that intuitive school. I thought I was really hot stuff. I thought I was a pretty good intuitive, and I get there, and there are a lot of people who are very talented and gifted, and I think it really was a big wake-up call for me of, yeah, we're all just growing on this journey, and we kind of all have no idea what we're doing. So I spent 6 years there, and it was really helpful to learn some tools and practices to really help me feel kind of more of a grounded sense of how to use this gift and how to work with it and how to communicate with guides and how to differentiate between fear and desire versus intuition, and how to give readings for people. And so I spent 6 years there really developing that gift. And then at a certain time, it kind of became clear to me that I wasn't very embodied. I didn't know how to actually be in my body and feel my emotions. So post that intuitive school, I really dove into the world of somatic experiencing and coaching, learning to be more in touch with my emotions and my body. And I really kind of pushed away intuition for many years. I was like, forget this thing. I already changed my name to Juna. I already live in Marin County. I don't want to be the hippie woo-woo chick. And so for years, I kind of, even though I had given many readings, many free sessions for about 5 years, I really kind of was like, nope, I'm going to become a coach. I'm done with this intuition thing, this woo-woo thing. And I was trying to build up my coaching practice. Nothing was quite flowing. And then one day I was like, okay, I'm going to just do a session where I blend some of my intuition with my coaching. And it was just like the energy opened up. That person had a really big following, and they ended up sharing about me on some social media. And within a month, all of a sudden, I had a pretty full practice doing this intuitive coaching thing. And I was blown away. I had spent like the last 3 years trying to be a coach. And here it was when I blended intuition with coaching, the energy started to flow. So since then, that's the work I've been doing, and it's been really, really powerful. I'd say that it's so mysterious to be on this journey of having these gifts and then trying to figure out, are we meant to use them in this life? How do we use them in this life? How do I also feel safe having access to a lot of this kind of paranormal experiences and psychic experiences? And I think that there is something really important about finding time to develop these gifts, so that way you feel more empowered using them. They're not just something happening to you, but you get to be more in choice around them. I also think that it's really an important question to ask is like, what is it that I'd want to do with these gifts that I have? And how could I be of service in this life, also in a way that serves me? And so that's something I continue to check in with myself about. But I just wanted to share with you a few of my little experiences on this journey. And there's so many more experiences, but those are just a few that really shaped me and empowered me and nudged me forward. And I'm still very much here on the journey, growing this intuition thing. Anyway, hope you have a wonderful day.